Welcome to The Leadership, a business-focused talk show brought to you by the Vested Group.
We talk to entrepreneurs, employees, thought leaders, innovators, dreamers, disruptors,
and even our own children about what makes us tick on and off the clock.
Welcome to another edition of the Leadership Talk Show brought to you by the Vested Group. You can find out more about us at thevested.com or follow us on Facebook or Instagram. I'm here with my host today, Johnny.
And I'm here with Hillary Patterson.
That's right. I know I'm going to do it. Oh, it caught me. Johnny says, listen. And we are very lucky today that we have Ross Cortese with us.
Hey guys, glad to be here.
Happy to have you. So,
can you tell us how did you end up at the Vested Group?
Yeah, so the story of how I got to the Vested Group starts with lawyers and ends with a little bit of nepotism. So I was in the process of starting my own company. At the time, I was doing a consulting firm very similar to what the Vested Group did, but in a HR software. And through a series of events, my old company came after me for some stuff. And so I decided at a point it wasn't worth it to continue fighting that battle. So I had worked with Brittany King at a previous job, our first job out of college. Okay. And then I worked with Matt and Catherine at the job before. So basically they said, come to the Vested Group. And I said, okay, what do they do? And they said, just come. So I did a little bit of research, but they were probably the three people I trust more than anybody in the business world. So I said, all right, give me an interview. And here we are.
Wow.
You've been here a couple of years now.
Been here 2 years this August.
All right. So,
and it worked out.
Right,
like they were right.
They were right. Yeah, they were right. I've had a great time so far.
Stuck around so far, right? Yeah. So, how would your parents describe what you do?
So my parents just kind of go with he works with software and with clients, okay, which is good enough. I had a friend at one of our old companies that we did that it was an oil and gas software, and his parents would tell their friends that he installed computers at gas stations. So my parents, at least they've got a little bit of a grasp on it, but
yeah, not bad. I think the worst answer we've had so far is they fix printers, right?
Yeah, that's about, like, my internet's not
basically
working.
It.
Yeah, that kind of thing.
So how would you describe what you do then?
So what I do is help our customers get the most out of their system. So if they're using NetSuite or if they're not using NetSuite, to help them run their business in the most efficient way possible, and using our experience and expertise to do that.
And when you were little, is this what you dreamed of doing?
No. So I was, from the time I was 5, I was going to be a cardiothoracic surgeon.
Oh,
like that was it. Like that was, yeah.
A doctor in the house. All right.
It's either professional sports or
yeah. Well, so I went all the way through. I did several medical conferences in high school and in early college, and that was it. I was, I had trained, I had done a lot of stuff. I'd done cadaver autopsies and all kinds of stuff.
Wow.
And it's been about 2.5 years of college in pre-med, and just like one day it just kind of hit me that this is not, I don't want to do this. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, better to find out then than in a cadaver later on.
Yeah.
So.
Make your own cadaver.
Right.
All right. So why do you come to work? What gets you up in the morning to come into the office?
For me, it is problem solving. I've always had that kind of puzzle brain. So it gives me an opportunity to solve something every day. Okay. I like to fix things. I like to put things together and in a way this kind of satisfies that problem solving brain, that I can go find a problem or find an issue that somebody has and figure out a way to fix it, even if it's not the best way, but figure out a way to fix it. And so that kind of,
I can agree with that.
That and feeding my family.
Always a plus.
Also, yeah, that one helped a little bit.
There's a great feeling to find that answer that you're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So what do you wish more people knew about you?
So I don't know if I wish they knew it about me, but a lot of people probably don't know that I grew up in the country. I mean, I'm talking we had 800 people in our whole county, way more cattle than people. I grew up on a horse. We butchered cattle, butchered sheep, everything like that. So I grew up very, very country.
Where was this?
New Mexico.
New Mexico.
Yeah, we weren't bumpkins or anything, but that was, we were no stoplights in our town. We were 60 miles from the nearest fast food. We had one grocery store, one gas station, and 2 restaurants.
Just
And you didn't stay there? You didn't want to stay there?
Did not want to stay there. No, my family actually helped settle the area back in, I think they got there around 1910 and helped settle the farmland. And we've been there ever since, farming and ranching. And I think that is going to end with my generation. I don't think either of my brothers are going to go back either.
You're telling us this with like a raging highway and
Right.
skyscrapers.
Right. Yeah. So there's like a lot of people with my sneaker collection and my, a lot of people don't realize that I grew up like, I try to hide the accent and but I grew
Cool story, though.
I grew up very I tell one of the things I tell people is I learned to ride a horse before I could ride a bike.
Yeah.
So
I mean, we all did that.
yeah.
Yeah, Texas.
Right,
We were from
right,
Texas,
Texas.
yeah. You go to the horse riding place and they're like, oh, you're from Texas? Here's El Diablo.
Here's your
Take
horse.
that one, yeah.
Right.
Were you like kind of close? Like you grew up like near Billy the Kid, like where he was buried.
I grew up on Billy the Kid Road.
Oh,
He's buried about a quarter mile from my house.
Isn't that nuts?
that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's neat. I'm kind of a Western.
We used to have, we had some of our farmland had one of the old houses. It's called the Abrea House, and it was like Billy the Kid's friend
Really?
that he was said to have hid out in that house several times.
We have
So
like a festival, kind of
Yeah.
Billy the Kid festival.
we did every year is
Oh,
the Old Fort Days
Oh, really?
in June, like around the middle of June, and they do the Billy the Kid tombstone race where
Oh.
you steal it because his tombstone's been stolen like 4 or 5 times from the gravesite, right? So there's the Billy the Kid race where you grab the tombstone and jump over this fence and go put it back, and it's everything is Billy the Kid back home.
Just
Yeah.
child
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
everybody.
Oh, no.
Right, things everybody grows up with.
All right, jumping into the next question. What do you enjoy doing when you're not at work? Aside from
So
moving tombstones. over
aside
fences?
from moving tombstones, I do a lot of woodworking. Not right now because it is so hot and we just moved and my garage workshop's not set up, but I like to do woodworking. I like to build furniture. I have gotten into cycling recently,
Okay.
do some of that, and then playing golf, even though it's bad to me.
You're probably handy guy to know if you're making furniture.
Right.
We can all put in some orders.
Yeah,
Then
I've made furniture for my little brother's new house, and a lot of stuff.
Actually, Ross made the couches.
I made the
Oh,
couches.
wow. Exactly.
I made-
Upholstery work, too. That's
Yeah.
fantastic. So would you say that you are generally lucky or not?
So I don't like the term lucky because it implies kind of the absence of effort. So I would say I am extremely fortunate.
Yeah.
I had a great family growing up, had 2 parents that love me. I've been given a lot of advantages, but I would say that I've also worked hard for everything I've got. So I absolutely am fortunate, have had a lot of advantages that a lot of people don't have, but I don't consider myself lucky.
Okay, so
Uh-oh.
luck's not in the mix.
Luck's
You worked really hard. The universe is rewarding you with a $15 million
Yeah.
lottery ticket that you find when you walk outside of the studio today. What are you doing with that hard work earned?
I'll pay off my house and my car, and the rest is going into the bank. I'm going to invest the rest of it and work for about 5 more years, 6 more years, hit 40, and I'm retiring. Let's be honest. I can live modestly for the next 40 years on the dividends and returns on 15 million. So I'll give it another 5 years, 6 years of work, and then I'm done.
Depends on how many kids you have. 'Cause
Yeah,
they can
that's true.
really eat into that.
That's true.
Yeah.
Like, you
They
know,
got to earn their own way.
would anybody be upset? Like, I feel like everyone would understand, like, if anybody at the company won, like, $15 million, they're
Yeah.
like, hey, I feel like everyone is really nice at the company. They'd be like, yeah, here's 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll finish
exactly.
out. But would anybody really blame anyone if they're like, I'm not coming in
No.
tomorrow?
No. I used to always joke that if I won the lottery, because we would like do big group pools, and
Yeah.
I was like, man, if we win, I'm not even calling in. Like, I'm like not going to
See
be
ya.
here tomorrow.
See ya.
Yeah. I don't even remember anybody's name that works
Yeah.
there. I'm done. Yeah. Okay. So next is, if you were shipwrecked on an island and you had basic things like food and water,
Mhm.
what 2 things would you bring with you?
So probably the first one would be companionship. I would say my wife, but I don't really want to condemn her to having to live on an island. So I'll take my dog
All right.
Okay.
for companionship,
Okay.
and then either a Bowie knife or a kukri knife, just to give me a good blade and a dog, and I think I'm gonna be all right.
Wow.
Somebody read the book Hatchet.
I know, that's
Yeah.
great. Yeah.
That was Gary Paulson was my favorite
That's
favorite
in there
writer
with the
growing up.
Westerns.
I love
Yeah.
Hatchet.
I just remember liking that book as a kid. Then all of a sudden I reread it the other day and didn't realize it's like 50 pages long.
Yeah, it's very short. It's pretty dark too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. On a happier note, if you could choose one song that played every time you walked into the room, this is your walk-up song. What's it going to be?
So I'm rewatching the OC right now.
Okay.
Kind of a blast from the past. And so I think my song would be Hello Sunshine by the Super Furry Animals. It's the song that plays every time Summer walks into a room when she sees Seth Cohen. So, and the way he looks at her, and it's just kind of a happy little surfer song.
The OC. I'm just impressed that
Yeah.
you're willing to admit that in public.
Yeah, no.
Actually, yeah. That's
I have no shame.
Public on a YouTube
I have
video
no-
that's going to get posted.
And then-
to everybody.
I have no shame. Yeah,
Are you familiar with the song?
no shame whatsoever.
Oh no.
So it'd be either that or Up in Here by DMX.
Okay, there's
Yeah,
one.
one of the two. Yeah.
I'm more stunned by the show. Yeah,
I'm sorry,
just the rewatching it. Like it's like
Yeah, no, I'm
valuable
introducing my wife to it because she's never seen it before. We used to have big OC watch parties in college.
Gilmore Girls. Yeah,
No,
No,
wasn't a Gilmore Girls
Oh.
guy, but
Seeing how many more we could squeeze out of them.
I know.
Yeah. no shame.
All right. So, if you were to become CEO of the Vested tomorrow, what would you do?
That's a tough question. I'd probably try and consolidate our invested and delivery practices into one big practice, and then just kind of deploy people as needed rather than kind of keeping two separate practices. But that's just kind of a small one, having everybody kind of helping out on all parts of projects and things like that.
Ross Cortese uniting all banners.
Everybody together.
First.
Good feedback right there.
Ross, you're a senior consultant at the Vested Group, correct?
I am. Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate your time, pulling a senior consultant away from his daily duties. You've been an awesome guest. Thank you again for watching our talk show. You can find out more about the Vested Group at thevested.com, or you can watch more of our interviews on YouTube. Just search the Vested Group. Thanks, and see you next time.